want you to move this voice outside your body. As you're moving this voice outside your body, what impact does it have now? Just think of it, moving it away from your body. And what does this voice do to you?
I feel like it's just somebody else, not me.
Hmm?
I feel it's like somebody else, not me.
Yeah. When you do that, how does it feel this now?
In fact, that felt good.
That felt good. So it's so easy, right?
Yes, yes.
Anybody else? I want all people to participate so we can do this exercise and do other exercise. So can you unmute yourself and talk? And have you done this exercise? Please let me know. How did it feel when you did it?
Well, it feels good, certainly.
Okay. And
Because,
what was the yes? What was the effect?
More positive emotions.
Okay.
And it feels like something is leaving you.
Great. Anybody else would like to share this?
I think you question it more when it is something external to you than you do when you're hearing the voice internally. Like as an external thing, because if somebody else was saying that to you and it were a stranger, you would question it and you would think, no, I'm not those things, and you wouldn't accept it from a stranger.
So that's what we do in this exercise, right? So you are making that voice outside yourself, so it becomes external to you. And it does not have that impact on you. Let's take one more voice that is really bothers you most of the time, and do the same exercise with it for a minute, and then we'll move further on this. Where is it located? Find the location, then move it away. You can move it to the side, you can move it away from you, and see how it feels as you do so. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is one of the exercises, and this is as such, this is content free. So what it means is that we don't need to look at the content as much as we are looking at the voice inside. So when we look at the voice, we just move it that voice, whatever the content is. We're not concerned about the content of it. And then the content becomes meaningless for us. Okay. Now somebody wants me to repeat the exercise. So, okay, let's do the exercise again, please. Basically, this exercise is that when we have an internal dialogue or there's a voice inside us, and the voice tells us that for anything, and I'm not good enough or whatever. So I want you to just think of this voice. Where is it inside your head? Where do you feel this voice is? Once you're able to locate it, usually it's inside your head. I want you to move this voice outside your body and make it go away at a distance from you, and see the effect of this. How does it affect you at that point? Do it with any of your internal voice that you have. Did you do it? Were you able to do it? That exercise?
I will.
Okay. Now, this is the one way of we can change the way of our internal dialogue, because our internal dialogue also determines our state of how we are communicating with ourselves, also helps the way we communicate with others. It affects the way we communicate with others. If my communication with myself is not good, my communication with others will be quite bad also. So it's very important that we communicate with ourselves in a very positive manner. Then there are other ways. One exercise is that, for example, you add, this is what I want, and see the impact. For example, I am not good enough. Add, this is what I want, and see what happens. Or any other voice that is inside your head, which is negative. When you say, this is what I want, what effects does it have at conscious level? And then it will all ultimately affect you at your unconscious level. I'm not good enough. This is what I want. I can't do this. This is what I want. How does that feel now? Anybody?
Thinking of it itself gives me no.
So, anybody else? Hello?
Sorry, Umar, when you say reframe it as this is what I want, so instead of saying I can't do this, you're reframing it as I want to be able to do this.
Yeah. You know what you're doing, you're taking the negative talk, and this is what you want, right? You're reframing it, this is what I want. I don't want to be, I'm not good enough, this is what I want. What effect does it have on you?
I'm sorry, I still don't get what. So you're actually saying I'm not good enough.
Yeah, and this is what I want.
And this is what I want, but are you stating what it is you want?
No, like the internal dialogue of yours is that I'm not good enough. Okay.
Okay.
This is my internal dialogue, right? That I'm not good enough. And when I add this is what I want. So what happens when you do that?
Basically, it's like I'm attracting that whole sentence, that this is what is going to happen with me.
Or you're challenging that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it immediately doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to you, right? It's challenge your conscious mind. And then it affects your unconscious mind that way. Once you start doing this, you will see the shift in you. If you start doing this exercise, you will see that that sentence won't have that impact on you. But when you do this to a positive, you feel good about it. I'm really good at this, and this is what I want. See? How does it change?
Amplifies it.
Yeah, you amplify this, but in the previous one, what happened?
It queried it.
Right.
It wasn't logical any longer, and then it made you question it.
Made you question that, and it did not have the impact then. Basically, the impact of our internal dialogue is the biggest problem with us. How it translates into us, into our way we start thinking and believing in ourselves, which leads us to depression, OCD behavior, and so many other things. So this is another way of we can do it. And the other way that we can think is, you see, questioning your thought, like I'm not good enough. It is a sentence, I'm not good enough. But when you make it, I'm not good enough, you change the voice to it, make it, it becomes a question mark. Try doing this. See the shift in it. When you say, I'm not good enough, you're believing that you're not good enough. But when you start, I'm not good enough, it becomes a question mark. And when it becomes a question mark, then you don't feel, or it does not have that impact on you. Or you can add like more humor to it, like Mickey Mouse or something talking to you, I'm not good enough. What impact does it have?
Yeah, you don't take it seriously. Anyway, you know,
Yes, you don't take it seriously. And that's the key. Once you don't take it seriously, then it doesn't affect you. And once it doesn't affect you, that's what we see. We are so good with when our internal dialogue is negative, we are so good in making ourselves miserable. And we keep on going by those dialogues. And if you, these exercises, if you start doing these exercises daily, whenever you challenge your own thoughts, or the other thing is question your own thoughts. How many times do you question your own thoughts? Do you question your thoughts?
Sometimes,
No.
yes.
Yeah. But do you question your negative thoughts?
No. No.
No, it's basically I'm believing it is right.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing that we should not be doing, believing that it's right. Like when you say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, and you start believing in that, then what happens? Then what happens to you?
Yeah,
Then
you
it
stop
sort of
trying.
becomes true.
And what do you do about this? Once you start believing in such a negative thought, then what do you do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, yeah.
Yeah. When you do nothing, then what happens?
Yeah, you don't get closer to the goal that you're trying to achieve.
Or you get depressed, you feel unworthy,
Yes.
and in then that you can also become a people pleaser. Right? Do you want to be like that? No.
No.
So in order not to be like this, we need to have a better communication with ourselves. Once we have a better communication with ourselves, when our internal dialogue changes our own state of our mind so quickly. And you see, our mind is a beautiful servant and a terrible master. So you need to make it your servant. We control our thoughts and we control our emotions. Once we know this, then we can work on it. So anybody offering to do some exercise on this? Anybody wants to do it with their negative talks. I have a lot of people have got a good list of it, a great list that you can have. So once you start with that list of yours, either you could question this thought, I'm not good enough. Why am I thinking this way? What makes me think this way? I'm not good enough. Because somebody said that. I'm not good in public speaking. Why do you say this? Why these thoughts do come? Have you ever thought of this? Anybody?
I suppose some of those things, I suppose, is a lack of confidence that you can't perform those things well, or not as well as other people that you have seen perform them, because they look as if they do it, or they perform those things naturally and confidently. So you compare yourself.
Yeah, so we compare ourselves, but we don't even do that. We don't even want to do that. Right?
It can also be certain past experiences that we had.
Yes. Yes, Mr. You have a
Raja.
question? Yes.
So yeah, I think sometimes, as the lady said, it can be past experiences, and then later in life there's something called imposter syndrome. You know, even when you do well, even actually you're feeling you did not do as well as, or you did well because of luck. It's not your own capabilities and so on. And if we go back to
Difficult
the
to
past,
accept,
then
huh?
we can, even when we compare and even when we achieve and we do it well, we think, oh, it was maybe by luck actually. I'm still not good enough. I still didn't do. If I will repeat it, I will not do it well. So, or sometimes it's perfectionism that, you know, there's always that extra mile that we haven't done, and then we don't celebrate what we know, what we have done, because we're still looking for that extra mile, that the 100%. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, look, so basically what you have said was, usually it is coming from the past. Okay. Because somebody has said this, and then you start believing in what other people have said. So,
Yeah.
so we are not living our life, we're living their lives that way. Because you're not believing in ourselves. You can only believe in yourself by doing something or challenging your own thoughts. What A can do, the B can also do the same thing. Maybe he would require more effort, but he will be able to, or she will be able to achieve it. As far as you're talking about perfection, well,
Yeah.
I'm very much against perfection. You see, perfection, because perfection is not a human trait.
Yeah.
Perfection comes either from a robot or a god. So neither you're God, neither you're a robot. So we should think it this way, that look, perfection and to err is human. You see, so that's our beauty. That's how we learn. All right.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I want you to repeat these exercises. I want you to repeat these exercises with me. Have the internal dialogue and with the voice first, and move the voice. Look at the voice, where it's coming from. Once you master this, you will see there's a real shift in your internal dialogue. And then it won't have the impact that it usually has on you.
Can it
Okay.
be done even by looking at a mirror and talking to ourselves?
You see, talking to yourself, looking in the mirror does not help, because that is done at a conscious level. What you're doing is doing it at a conscious level.
Okay.
So that's why you need to have, for the unconscious mind to believe it, you need to give it a reason. If you want to do this mirror exercise with like affirmations, for example, affirmations work sometimes, but sometimes they don't work. Usually don't work because, like if I think I'm strong, I'm confident. I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident. I don't believe I'm confident. Then what does happen? For that moment, you might feel confident, but then that whole confidence, when it's tested, will be gone to zero.
Okay.
So how do you make these affirmations work for you?
Mhm.
By giving reasons to it. Like I'm confident because, add 3, 4, 5, 6 reasons to it. Then you start believing in it. I'm confident because I'm knowledgeable, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm telling. All these will then make more sense to you.
Right.
Right? So what you need to do whenever you're doing, like we're talking about the affirmations, start giving reasons to it. Okay. The problem with people who have got negative self-talk is they usually don't believe in themselves, or they don't love themselves. So if I would ask you, all of you, do you love yourself?
You want to?
Want to? Okay.
Yeah. I think we could be the hardest on ourselves than any other person
So,
outside.
and does it help you?
No.
Then why
For
do you
sure.
do this? Why are you
For-
doing this?
For sure not. Because
Then-
of the previous reasons that I think you discussed, and we all said perfectionism, feeling not good enough, and all that.
Right. So this is how you need to change this, right? So these exercises, the negative talk is also one way of changing your is. Okay, I'm going to give you an exercise to do it today, right now. You don't need to tell me about this. I want you to write your own qualities, about 8 of them, with I am. Can you all do that? Write your qualities with I am. For example, I'm intelligent. I'm confident. Okay. But don't include those qualities which are for others, like I'm kind. No, that's for others. You're not going to include that. It only has to be specific to you. Hello?
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
You did it? Anybody has done it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And how many did you all people write? About 6, 7, 8? How many qualities? Anybody?
Yeah, I can get to about 6 and then I run out.
Okay.
Less than 6.
Okay. Okay. Add more to it. Come on. Everybody can go to 8 at least.
You took out kind, loving, you know, all this. So
Yeah, you're loving your
Wow.
father. Rather being loving, it should be lovable.
Mm.
okay.
Okay.
I did that. I'm loved.
Change it.
Yeah,
Got it?
got it.
So all of you got about 7 to 8, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to ask you to rate them as you believe from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, what number would you give to them? And the value can be repeated for I'm intelligent and smart or confident can have the same value. So if I were to ask you to rate them, where would you rate them? 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So just rate them so we can. You have done it?
Hmm.
Okay. What is the highest value that you get? Hmm?
Yeah, good learner.
Should it be the average or
No,
because
no,
I'm
no. I'm not talking the each sentence should have a value. Like I'm confident, for example. So you give it a value. How much you believe you're confident from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
okay? Intelligent 9, fighter
8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10.
9, 10, 10.
Wow. So you're doing everything 10. Great.
9. Eight. Mr. Omar, I'm
Yes.
actually making my own, but the way I'm writing it, it's really most of it are negative. That's why I'm numbering it a bit higher. Well, there are also some positive things that I have made,
No,
like for example.
you don't need to write negative. Negative are not your qualities, right?
But these are the things that I'm really feeling about myself. It's not even a
But that's
description.
your self-talk you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So we should write only positive, right?
Right.
Because I'm writing it mainly like 4 are negatives. So I should delete it.
Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I don't know.
You don't know. What don't you know? Okay, if you look at now let's do this negative exercise with you. Okay, that negative thing is your self-talk in a way, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm joining this kind of session.
Okay. Now that is now that's negative talk, that voice inside your head. That negative voice, where is it? Is it inside your head?
Yes.
Just take one voice, okay? And if you move that voice outside your body, just move it away. Close your eyes and just concentrate on moving that voice away from you.
Okay. If I remove that negativity in my mind, I could think of
Yeah.
very good
That
anyway.
that voice, we are not We're not talking about that content. I'm not talking about the content right now. That voice that is telling you that thing, whatever it's telling you. I just want you to move that voice outside your body,
Okay.
away from your head. Did you do it? Hello?
One, two, three, four, five.
No, did you do one voice? Did you do that?
Yes.
Did you move it away?
Yeah.
And
If I move it away, I
yeah,
could think of a very good thing, like, I know myself, I'm a fighter.
and the impact of that voice is what now?
It's positive. Like I could think of something
Yeah,
really very
yeah, right. But that thought, that voice now does not have that impact on you, right?
Yes. Like these disturbances of the negative voice, if I will only think of the real me, because this is just like there's like a struggle, like two things are fighting deep inside me. The experiences that I'm having right now is really fighting against the things that I know about me, about myself, who I am.
See,
With
you, the word fighting, don't call it fighting. See, when the fighting gives you a
conflict, I can say. I think this is because of the experiences that I'm having right now in my life. See,
Okay.
I could say it's about relationship thing, and it's
Okay.
really giving a very bad impact of how I am seeing life. I know myself. I used to be a strong person. I always think positive, and
See, again, what you're saying, you're talking, I used to be a strong person, is taking this to the past. That means you're believing that you're not a strong person now, right?
So
what you
means
need to
like
do
you
is
have to
the
open
internal,
your
the
mind
internal,
about who you are.
Yes. So you need to have a positive. What you like, the good you mentioned that about the past. So the internal dialogue, you can also change this like this. I'm not been good enough to make it to the past. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't strong. See, when you change this to the past, the impact of this automatically shifts. And you don't have that impact on yourself. Or do you still have that impact? I'm not good enough. Now change it to the past and see how it affects you now. Anybody? You want to say something?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. So now when you did that exercise that we did about coming back to the exercise about the writing your qualities and putting the values to it, what was the highest value and what was the lowest value you got?
The highest is 10 and the lowest is 8. I have.
Well, that's very good. That's very, okay. What about others? Anybody?
Yeah, the highest was 9, the lowest was 7, which I thought was interesting for myself because you've had me do this activity before.
Yeah.
And I actually I was able to do it far quicker, and it was mostly positive this time.
Okay,
So-
yeah, yeah, you had done it before, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it was good because I actually could see a shift.
Yeah, okay. So that's a great improvement because I thought it was much, there are a lot of changes in it. That's great. That's great. That's great. And anybody else who did it? Hello?
Well, yes, for me, highest was 10 and lowest was 7.
Lowest was 7. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the one which is less than 8, whatever it is, like for example, I'm not confident. I'm confident, but the value is 7. You wanted to increase that value to 8 and above. So you can use these affirmations with reasons.
Okay.
Okay, anybody can give me an example? How would they add reasons to it? Like I'm confident. How would you add reasons for it? I'm confident because,
I am knowledgeable.
yeah, what else?
I'm adaptable. I'm resilient. I am able to.
I'm able to is again a question mark there.
Okay.
Okay.
I can.
You see, our sentence
I can cope with
again cope.
what life throws at me.
No, cope is again. Oh my God, I have to cope with this. It comes in a negative. See, the words that we use directly tells us about our state of the conscious, unconscious mind. When there's a question mark, for example, I can cope with it. That means I think, okay, it's a difficult situation. I have to cope with it. Okay. Or I can do it. Again, there's a question mark, like this is a problem. When we say it's a problem, again, this is when I look at a problem or I look at it as a challenge. What is the difference when you look at a problem or you look at it as a challenge? Do you see any shift in the way your mind is processing this?
I think it's a linguistic thing more than it is a difference in meaning. I've been programmed by management speak.
Yeah, you see, well, for you, it would be linguistic. For the human brain, for the subconscious mind, it's linguistic and the way the mind processes it. When I look at it as a challenge, it's a more of a motivating thing. When I look at it as a problem, it's not that motivating.
So using I can implies some doubt. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, well, I can. Well, rather, I am would be the right. Like I'm in the present. Make it a more present state. I am.
Okay.
Okay. Can is a question mark also. So when we are talking about, again, coming back to the negative thoughts that we were talking about. So the exercises that we did once was the content free, the voice, just looking at the voice and moving the voice outside ourselves. The other way of doing it is putting this in a past. Said I was. like this before. I wasn't confident. So then when you put it in the past, it does not have that effect on it. Or you can, once you say like, this is what I wanted, then it changes, shifts the way of your thinking. I'm not good enough. This is what I wanted. Now you again question this. I'm not good enough. This is what I wanted. Really? Is this really what I wanted? See the shift in yourself at that point. When you add negative to this is what I wanted, and see the change, and when you add to a positive, see the change in yourself. I'm really good at this. This is what I wanted. How do you feel? I can't do this. This is what I wanted. See the shift. See the change. Then the other thing that we did was changing the way we are talking to ourselves, our internal dialogue, because our internal dialogue determines our state of our well-being, state of our mind, how positive we are or how negative we are. If my internal dialogue is not good with myself, how will I be able to communicate with others? It would be again a negative way that I will be responding to them. So to change the internal dialogue is, of course, by questioning it also. I'm not good enough, you can question this. Am I not good enough? Am I good enough? Instead of making a sentence, am I good enough? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough becomes a question mark. Or you can add a Mickey Mouse to it or any comedic character to it. I'm not good enough. Doesn't have an impact. Because once you shift the impact of that thought, it changes everything. So there are three exercises that you can, if we recall the three things that we talked about was, one, the voice, you can start with the voice, and the voice which is your negative voice, and just move it away from your body. Usually it's in your head area. So move it outside your body, and you can change it. You can make it further away from you, so you can hardly hear it or whatever. So once you start shifting that voice, it should have an impact on you. It will change the way you're thinking about it. The other thing is, you can put that sentence in the past. Once you put it in the past, then it does not have that effect again. And then you make it more humorous by changing the tone of that voice, of the sentence, or you take it at a high pitch so it becomes a question mark. So all these four things, if you start doing it, some of them will work on something and some of them will work on other things, but they will work. Now, I want all of you to do one exercise. Take one sentence, some negative thought, and try all the four and see which one works better for you. Just do it and let's see. Everybody will have a different maybe. So first you do it as a voice, then move it away from you and see from your what effect. Then you can put that in voice in the past, that sentence in the past. After you have done that, then you can also make it humorous the same thing, and then you can also question that. So do all these 4 things and see which one is more effective in your case. Let's do it now. And please come back after 2 minutes with it, whatever it is. Hello?
Yeah, for me, I felt the one where I was like, whatever happened, whatever thought was in the past, I felt much better. Like it was something that was and it's gone. So it's like not my issue anymore now.
Great. So which worked with you? Which thing worked with you?
The one which was like the past. It's like
Okay.
I was
Okay.
that.
Okay. Great. Great. Anybody else?
The questioning.
The questioning. Okay. Okay. Yes. Anybody?
I think
Okay.
making it in the past worked
Okay.
best for me.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. The questioning but all of you did try all the techniques with that, or you tried only
Yes. No,
Yes, all of them.
all of them? See, you will also realize that in some cases, some techniques would work, and in some other one will work. Not all the time the one will work. So they will be shifting. So in something the moving it to the past will work, something else will work, but all of them will have an effect on them. Effect or every technique will have, but the impact of which is more than you can work with your own self and work on it. Any questions before we conclude the session? Hello?
Yes, no questions. I think
Okay.
these are very simple and powerful techniques that I haven't thought about before. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
thank you so much. I felt very good. In fact, I got an answer to a lot of things that keeps going in my head.
Okay, great, great. So, okay then, everybody have a nice day. And
Thank you so much.
okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.